So we started working on the Theatre Green Book. We started talking about how theatres, small theatres and large, can make sustainable productions. And I remember 3 conversations early on which taught us a lot about how we can make change. The technical director of the National Theatre said to me, I know a lot about sustainability. I've been thinking about it for 10 years, but even though I understand sustainable production, I can't tell a designer or a director what to do. That's not how theatre works. We're a collaborative. We work in a collaborative way. And a stage designer said to me, I've always been passionate about sustainability and I want all my shows to be sustainable. But if the director isn't interested and has a different concept, then I know that we'll never end up with a sustainable production. And another designer said to me, I can design a set for a production which I hope will be sustainable, but it's not up to me to decide where the plywood and the wood and the steel comes from, so I can't be sure it's made in a sustainable way. And a set builder said to me, I am passionate about sustainability, but if I'm given a model with 5 weeks to build it and a fixed budget, it's too late to make it in a sustainable way. I need to be able to talk to the designer much earlier so that I can suggest ways to make it more sustainably. All of those conversations taught us something really important. To make a sustainable production, it isn't enough that one person wants to work sustainably, the designer or the production manager or the director. A theatre production is a complex chain which links together lots of different people doing different things. The producer, the director, the designer, the production manager, the set builder, the costume department, the stage manager, and so on. If we want a production to be sustainable, we have to look at how everybody works together and change the whole system so that we can arrive at a sustainable show. Sustainability is the responsibility of everyone in the team. The designer and director, the creative team, need to be thinking from the beginning about the sustainability of the production, just as they're always aware of the budget and timetable. The set maker and the costume department and the lighting and sound department need to be involved in conversations much sooner so that they can collaborate on taking the idea and making it sustainable. And the producer needs to make sure that everybody is working to a shared standard for sustainability and make sure there's time for everybody to collaborate on a sustainable show. Because we understood that the Theatre Green Book would only work if all of the people involved in a production really understood what they had to do, that determined how we wrote the Theatre Green Book itself. We brought together focus groups of everybody involved in a production: producers, artistic directors, designers, production managers, lighting designers, set builders, everybody. And we asked them 2 questions. What could you do differently? And what do you need other people to do differently so that you can work more sustainably? And with all of those meetings, we included sustainability specialists. And we chose Bureau Happold, who are one of the world's best sustainability engineers, to be our partner for the Theatre Green Book, so that everything in the Theatre Green Book is based on really sound sustainability principle. Because we knew that if the Theatre Green Book is going to work, if it's going to move theatre towards sustainability, firstly, it must provide guidance that's practical for you as theatre makers. And secondly, we must be quite sure that it reflects sound sustainability principle. So the guidance of the Theatre Green Book, and you'll see it if you look at it online, is all on one page. And you can see the 3 standards: baseline, intermediate, advanced. And for each standard, you'll see what you need to do to achieve baseline, intermediate, or advanced. And some of what you have to do to achieve each standard is about reusing and recycling more material in your sets. To achieve baseline, 50% of everything on the stage needs to come from a reused or recycled source. And 65% of everything from the stage needs to be used again. And there are also requirements about avoiding harmful materials like PVC and about managing travel. But the majority of the requirements are about working differently so that you can make sure you achieve a sustainable outcome. They're about appointing the team early. They're about collaborating more, for example. As well, and then on the following pages, we describe what everybody needs to do to make sure you achieve those standards, whether you're a producer, a director or designer, a production manager, or part of the production team. Once we produced the first draft of the Theatre Green Book, we spent 2 months talking to theatre makers like you to make sure that it was going to work for you. We put the Theatre Green Book for Sustainable Productions online as a free resource in spring 2021. We thought that it would take a long time for people to start using it and for the message to spread throughout UK theatre. In fact, people started using it straight away. As I speak here now, all of the productions made by the National Theatre, by the National Theatre of Scotland, and by the National Theatre of Wales are made to Theatre Green Book standards. All of the opera companies in the UK are experimenting with the Theatre Green Book. And most of the medium and small scale theatres are starting to use it. There's a very long way to go, but already UK theatre is on a path towards sustainable production. And the reason, I think, is that our guidance is written by theatre makers and based on sustainability principle. And the more people use it, the more we learn how to work sustainably. It's easy to make small shows sustainably if you have no set and if you have only one costume for each actor, you will have a sustainable show. But we are also learning how to make large and complex productions in sustainable ways. On Tuesday night, I went to the press night of a new show at the National Theatre, and it was a big, complex show with a large, complex set, and I knew that it was made in a sustainable way. So what are the most important things about making a production sustainably? Well, they're very simple. And the most important of all is that we make them from reused and recycled materials. In the past, we would take new wood, new steel, put it in a set, and then throw it away. theatre needs to move to a circular economy where we're reusing and recycling materials the whole time. And the Theatre Green Book standards contains guidance on those as well. Now, in a minute, I'm going to ask for questions, but first I want to talk a bit about how the Theatre Green Book is starting to be used around the world. So we now have translations of the Theatre Green Book in a lot of European languages, and we're also getting a lot of interest and having a lot of conversations across East Asia. And to me, that's really exciting, because I'm sure that if we're going to learn how to make theatre sustainably, it's by sharing ideas and sharing expertise and learning from each other. And if we can start to spread the basic principles of sustainable theatre in Japanese theatre, then I'm quite sure that in 2 years' time, Japanese theatre will be where we are now and starting to work in a sustainable way. We really want to help with that, and we also want to learn from your experience and learn from the discoveries you make as we all begin to conceive theatre sustainably. Thank you very much for listening today, and I hope we've now got 15 minutes or so to answer questions and to listen to some of your experiences. Again,